On the broadcast here, an explosion in North Carolina levels part of downtown Durham. We have more on the many injured and hundreds evacuated.
Oh my God.
A deadly gas explosion in downtown Durham, North Carolina.
One person is dead and over a dozen injured, including a firefighter.
A major blizzard is set to pummel the Midwest. We're well into spring.
Warnings are in effect from Colorado to Minnesota.
We're not rid of this storm until late on Friday.
Yes, I think spying did occur.
The Attorney General says he believes the Trump campaign was spied on.
The border crisis in the spotlight.
Here in Brownsville, even the bus station is overwhelmed. This group right here just got dropped off. This group has already been processed.
Is it like this every morning?
Every morning.
And for the first time, we see a black hole.
And as with all great discoveries, this is just the beginning.
I'm Jeff Glor, and we're going to begin here in Durham, North Carolina, where part of downtown Durham was leveled by a natural gas explosion. At least one person was killed, more than a dozen others hurt. The front of one building was blasted apart. Several others were damaged. Windows were shattered for blocks. Some described it as feeling like an earthquake. Errol Barnett is in Durham.
Oh my God.
Thick black smoke and a roaring fire visible for miles.
We do now have active fire into the next building over, closer to Main Street. It's starting to break through the roof.
While on the ground,
It's not safe right here. It's not safe.
rescuers had to use a makeshift stretcher to get victims to ambulances. Others sat stunned and bloodied. The blast left at least one dead and 17 people injured, with 6 in critical condition. Police say at 9:30 this morning there was a call reporting a gas leak.
A lot of people down here need to be evacuated, and I'll need at least one more unit.
While firefighters were evacuating the area around this building, it exploded.
I got a female in the containment zone who had glass and debris in her head.
Officials say without the quick decision to evacuate, casualties could have been higher. Fire Chief Robert Zoldos.
Because I don't know how many people they evacuated and got them out of the hazard zone prior to the explosion, but obviously they put their lives on the line to do it, and I'm sure there's people they saved because of it.
There's glass everywhere.
Mark Brocconi usually works from home, but was at a meeting at the time of the blast.
Usually I am sitting just outside the main window at my desk, and the glass was everywhere, so I can only imagine what would have happened to me.
City officials say there had been utility workers installing a fiber network around the city, but would not confirm who was operating in the area of the explosion.
Our staff is still confirming whether or not there was an active permit in the area, and we'll release that when we have that information confirmed. Now, while the investigation gets going, people here have to deal with the aftermath. Duke Energy is telling folks downtown to expect intermittent power outages, while Mark, who we spoke with, his wife and their 19-year-old dog will spend the night in a hotel. Jeff, they have not been told when they can go home.
After some frightening pictures there, Errol, thank you very much. The Attorney General got plenty of attention today when he told Congress he believes the government spied on the Trump campaign in 2016. And he wants to examine how the Russia investigation began. Nancy Cordes has more on this story.
This was an illegal witch hunt.
President Trump's bashing of the Russia probe is nothing new, but he got some unexpected backup today from his new Attorney General, William Barr.
Yes, I think spying did occur.
Barr told senators he's looking into whether the U.S. intelligence community inappropriately spied on the Trump campaign, even as Barr admitted he has no evidence of that.
I am not saying that improper surveillance occurred. I'm saying that I am concerned about it and looking into it.
Do you want to rephrase what you're doing?
Democrats called Barr irresponsible and accused him of propping up a, quote, long-debunked spying conspiracy to please Donald Trump.
How very, very dismaying and disappointing that the chief law enforcement officer of our country is going off the rails. He is the Attorney General of the United States of America, not the Attorney General of Donald Trump.
The FBI did obtain a surveillance warrant in 2016 to monitor the communications of Carter Page, a campaign foreign policy advisor who had been courted by Russian operatives in the past. The warrant was based in part on allegations contained in a dossier prepared by a British ex-spy who was doing research for the Clinton campaign, making it a long-time flashpoint for Republicans.
Do you agree with me that every American should be concerned as to whether or not a warrant was obtained against an American citizen with unverified information?
Absolutely.
Democrats contend this is all an effort to undermine special counsel Robert Mueller's report, which Barr is due to release publicly next week. Tonight, the Democratic leader Chuck Schumer is calling on Barr to either retract his spying claim or produce some proof. Jeff?
Nancy Cordes, thank you very much. Scientists today showed off the first picture of a black hole. Albert Einstein's theories predicted the existence of these mysterious bodies. Now we have seen one. Here's Mark Strassman.
With this image, science fiction became fact. It's the first visual proof black holes exist, like this donut-shaped behemoth rotating 55 million light-years away.
So you're basically looking at a supermassive black hole that's almost the size of our entire solar system.
Yay! Black hole hunters are ecstatic. The cosmos just gifted them their holy grail. Black holes are pure gravity, the universe's ultimate irresistible force. Beyond the hole's boundary, the point of no return. Time ends. All matter and light disappear. It's a one-way ticket to oblivion.
To know that these monsters exist, that is humbling.
Astrophysicist Shep Dolman directed 200 scientists to build the Event Horizon Telescope.
Through ingenuity and working as part of a team, we were able to bring it to life.
They coordinated 8 radio telescopes in high, dry places around the world. That network created an Earth-sized virtual telescope looking to bring the invisible into focus. Their massive data dump took 2 years to process.
It's awe-inspiring, the colors, the image, the moment.
Absolutely. It's breathtaking. And when we saw this come into focus, our jaws dropped.
This hole is a monster. Its mass weighs 6.5 billion times that of our sun. The challenge of imaging an object so far from Earth was compared to someone in Washington, D.C. reading the date on a quarter in Los Angeles. An image that's instantly iconic.
The Earthrise over the moon. The first X-ray, seeing the inside of a hand. These are the kind of things that make you realize that there's a world that's been inaccessible to us that we can now see.
The CBS Overnight News will be right back.
Not everything in life is guaranteed, but Sims Furniture Guaranteed Financing is. We guarantee approval with affordable monthly payments. No matter what your circumstances, you will be approved. Sims Furniture.
Years of stubborn belly fat? Gone. White hips and flabby thighs? Transformed. Embarrassing back fat? Say goodbye. The secret is Sonobello, America's #1 cosmetic surgery specialist. Sonobello is not a fad diet or crazy boot camp workout. It's a simple, proven way to eliminate stubborn body fat in just one visit. Sonobello's board-certified surgeons use microlaser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells permanently and with minimal downtime, giving you dramatic and life-changing results. If you've struggled for years to lose stubborn fat, it's not your fault. Anyone can permanently make a change and lose fat with Sonobello. Schedule your free no-obligation consultation now. Plus, find out how you can get $250 off instantly. That's $250 off your stomach, back, even your thighs. Call the number on your screen or go to sonobello.com right now.
I'm Janet Aberay with Berg Simpson in Cincinnati. Our firm is nationally recognized for representing consumers injured by unsafe medical products, such as prescription drugs, surgical implants, and herbal supplements. Call us for a free case evaluation if you or a loved one has been injured by an unsafe medical product.
Berg Simpson, your Cincinnati law firm. Good lawyers, changing lives. Call 513-852-5600.
Not everything in life is guaranteed, but Sims Furniture Guaranteed Financing is. We guarantee approval with affordable monthly payments. No matter what your circumstances, you will be approved. Sims Furniture.
CBS This Morning, Saturday. Proud to receive a Daytime Emmy Award nomination for Outstanding Musical Performance. CBS This Morning, Saturday. Welcome to the weekend.
This is the CBS Overnight News.
The early blooms of spring are getting buried in parts of the central U.S. 6 states are under blizzard warnings tonight. Some areas could get more than 2 feet of snow by the end of this week. Cars have been sliding off roads. The police shut down an interstate in South Dakota. Adriana Diaz is there.
Spring in South Dakota turned winter white, clouding visibility and pushing 18-wheelers off the road. Blizzard warnings span 6 states from Minnesota to Colorado, where crashes closed I-70 in both directions near Vail. The sand and salt being sprayed is salt in the wound for areas still recovering from last month's flooding. Watertown, South Dakota is in the storm's bullseye, getting up to 24 inches on top of the 56 that's already fallen this year. That's nearly triple the norm. We joined Scotty Brinkman here while he was out treating the roads. He says this April storm is the biggest of the year.
50 degrees yesterday and blizzarding today.
When it was 50 degrees, did you ever think you'd be out here in the truck?
No.
In a blizzard?
No, I didn't. I figured we were done. I really did. And when they said the snowstorm was coming, I was like, what?
More than 8 inches have already fallen here in Watertown, South Dakota, and the brunt of the storm doesn't hit until tomorrow. To keep people off dangerous roads, officials have closed the interstate. That's what we took to get here. So most people, including us, are staying put for the night.
And all bundled up. All right, Adriana, thank you very much. Lonnie Quinn of WCBS TV in New York is here. Lonnie, this is a big storm in spring.
This could set a record for the biggest storm ever in the month of April. Let's take a peek at what we've got right now. We have snowflakes falling anywhere from Wisconsin all the way to Utah. Here's how the storm's going to progress. Put the Futurecast into motion. You get to Thursday morning. You are getting pummeled with snow in South Dakota, into Nebraska as well. Then as you get into, say, Thursday afternoon, you now have the snow in Minneapolis turning over to some sleet for you. And then by Friday morning, you're still dealing with snow out there. It's not going to be until later Friday that this will dissipate and start to move out. So how much snow are we talking about? Well, you heard Adriana say, hey, up around Watertown, they could be picking up, 1.5 to 2 feet. You betcha. That's all this area shaded in pink. Also portions of Nebraska as well. That area shaded in blue. That's a foot of snow or so. It's a big storm. Watch this, though. It's not just about the snow. Wind alerts, Jeff, stretch 1,600 miles. Gusts of 60 miles per hour are possible from Nevada to Kentucky. Severe weather tonight in Nebraska. Tomorrow it's Indiana and Illinois. And a huge temperature swing. Look at this. Today's high temperature, Pratt, Kansas, 88. Tomorrow morning, waking up to 35 degrees. So, look, is it going to be a record setter? It might be. We don't know for sure just yet.
And then as the storm moves on, they're talking about downpours at the Masters tournament on Sunday, right?
This is going to be a problem for the weekend at Augusta. Yeah, I don't think there's any escape in that. There's going to be a problem.
All right, Lon, thanks very much.
You bet.
The Pentagon has released the names of 3 Marines who were killed by a bombing Monday in Afghanistan. Corporal Robert Hendricks of Locust Valley, New York, was 25 years old. Sergeant Benjamin Hines of York, Pennsylvania, was 31. We told you about Staff Sergeant Christopher Slutman on our broadcast last night. Late today, the new Secretary of Homeland Security, Kevin McAleenan, was sworn in by the outgoing Secretary, Kirstjen Nielsen. McAleenan is now in charge of immigration enforcement. President Trump flew to Texas today and said he plans to send more troops to the southern border after hearing complaints about the surge of migrants crossing into the U.S. Maria Villarreal traveled to Brownsville, Texas, to see the border crisis firsthand.
Buenos días. Bienvenidos.
It's just after 6 a.m. At the Brownsville bus terminal, the latest batch of migrants have been dropped here by border agents, some with no place to go.
They just have their clothes on their back.
There are a lot of families here. Most show up with no food, money, or clothes. Sergio Cordova is one of the volunteers who tries to help.
There's water and juice and snacks, because this has to get them through the day, for the next 2 days or 3 days.
How long has it been like this?
About 2.5 weeks.
It's been a steady stream. Just last month, Customs and Border Protection reported 92,000 people apprehended crossing illegally, the most in a decade. 8,900 of them were children. It's a crisis President Trump has painted in stark language to defend his hardline immigration stance. He did it again in San Antonio today.
Dangerous people are coming here, and the good people are dying.
But Brownsville's Mayor Tony Martinez says the president's continued threats to close the border, combined with the rising number of migrants, are grinding traffic and commerce practically to a standstill.
Getting tougher is not the answer. The answer is sitting down and talking and saying, how do we alleviate why they're coming here?
With detention centers overcrowded, some of those released with nowhere to go end up in the care of people like Jack White.
There needs to be unity in the way in which we envision a strong refugee program.
White runs a short-term shelter for migrants who have already crossed the border.
If people are concerned over this crisis, they'll have to own up to that. What we're doing here is certainly a challenge, but will we handle more? Yes, if we're asked, we will.
The flood of illegal immigrants shows no sign of receding. Today, cameras captured another group waiting for border agents who have nowhere to send them. Sources tell me the contractor that set up that tent city in Tornillo was recently asked to set up shelters along the border to deal with this influx, but they have declined that offer. Jeff, we've also confirmed the military personnel that'll be along the border will be helping with logistics, military and medical personnel, and also with administrative duties.
Maria seeing things firsthand in Brownsville. Maria, thank you very much. Coming up next, Congress demands answers from drug companies over the growing cost of insulin.
I feel an incredible responsibility to be in the moderator position because people are overwhelmed by opinion right now. They are not necessarily always getting the kind of trusted, calm, contextualized analysis that we try to put on this program. This is moderating what a difficult place we are in our country, where often we can't have conversations. We have one on this show each week. We will tell you on Face the Nation what's important, we'll tell you why, and we will have the decision makers who are changing the country you're living in.
Unisom knows when you don't get enough sleep, it's hard to avoid the fog. Even the simplest things seem tough. Unisom is specially formulated to give you a good night's sleep, so you're ready to take on your day with Unisom, the sleep expert.
If there was an animal right in front of you, desperate for help, would you help that animal? If you're the kind of person who would, then please do it now, because there are animals who are waiting for help. And this year, you can give them the gift of life. Please visit this website or call this toll-free number and sign up today with your $19 monthly donation. We simply need more help so that our frontline responders can reach more animals in trouble. They need our help, and we need you. Call the number below or visit joinaspca.org on any device with your monthly donation. It's only 63 cents a day. And this is Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Month. And we urgently need 2,000 new donors. So this really is the time to help. Do it in the next 10 minutes, and you'll get this free membership kit, including this one-of-a-kind Animal Champion t-shirt designed exclusively for animal lovers like you. If your heart breaks at the thought of an animal suffering, then please go online or call now and show that animal you really do care.
Women are standing up for what they deserve.
In the office, in the world,
and finally, in the bedroom. Our natural lubrication varies every day.
It's normal.
So it's normal to do something about it.
KY Natural Feeling, the lubrication you want, nothing you don't. Get what you want.
CBS News. Real news.
Drug industry executives face new questions today from Congress over the rising cost of insulin. One study says it's nearly doubled in the last 5 years, forcing some diabetics to ration the drug. Anna Werner has more in our series, Your Money, Your Health.
Congressman, no one should be rationing insulin.
And they do every day.
Drug manufacturers and pharmacy reps were grilled today about the skyrocketing price of insulin that has led some patients to ration the life-saving drug.
Being here for a couple minutes, how frustrating it is to be on this side of the dais and watch every one of you do this.
Some studies say the underuse of insulin could affect nearly 40 million people with diabetes by 2030.
Nobody cared or nobody understood that without this next vial of insulin, I wouldn't live to see another week.
28-year-old Kristen Whitney Daniels started rationing her insulin after she was kicked off her parents' insurance plan 2 years ago.
I can't really explain how isolating and how terrifying it is.
She's now a patient at the Yale Diabetes Center, where a recent JAMA study found 1 in 4 patients reported cost-related underuse.
This is a wake-up call for us as a country.
Dr. Kasia Lipska treats patients, including Daniels, at the clinic and was the study's lead author. She testified on Capitol Hill last week.
This vial of insulin cost just $21 when it first came on the market in 1996. It now costs $275.
Some drug makers are already reacting to the outrage. Today, Sanofi announced it will cut the price of insulin for uninsured patients and those who pay cash to $99 a month. But that doesn't eliminate advocates' concerns.
People are dying from lack of access to a drug that's been around for almost a century. I think it's unconscionable.
Insulin manufacturers told us today that they have taken steps to address prices, including offering free medication to people who qualify. Jeff?
A wake-up call is right. Anna, thank you very much. Still ahead here tonight, we remember the man whose quiz show scandal inspired a Hollywood movie. We turn now to a CBS News investigation.
The potential danger that may be looming in the sky.
For an accident waiting to happen.
Warm tires, warm brakes.
Senators sent a letter to the FAA following our investigation.
So to you, that would be a red flag?
It would be a field of red flags. Those things keep me up at night.
Keep going, man. You got it.
If you ride, you get it. Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Pain thinks it can overpower you, overwhelm you. It obviously doesn't know you. Icy hot. Icy to dull, hot to relax. Rise from pain. Icy hot.
Just between us, cleaning with a mopping bucket is such a hassle. Ugh. Well, I switched to Swiffer WetJet, and it's awesome. It's an all-in-one that absorbs dirt and grime deep inside, and it helps prevent streaks and haze. Stop cleaning and start Swiffering.
If you or a loved one has mesothelioma or any other asbestos-related cancer, call now. Asbestos manufacturers sold deadly asbestos materials to thousands of companies, putting workers at risk. An estimated $30 billion in court-ordered trusts have been set aside to pay out claims to asbestos victims. You may be entitled to a portion of these funds and receive compensation without filing a lawsuit or ever going to court.
For your free legal consultation, call 1-800-294-2222. That's 1-800-294-2222. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
Charles Van Doren has died. He was at the center of an infamous quiz show scandal in the 1950s. Van Doren had the looks and lineage. The son of a Pulitzer Prize-winning poet and novelist.
Then you win $20,000. Congratulations.
He earned instant fame and nearly $130,000 on a 14-week winning streak on the primetime quiz show 21.
Good night to Charles Van Doren, ladies and gentlemen.
Rumors that the show was rigged led to a congressional investigation, which led to Van Doren's confession that he was given answers in advance.
I was involved, deeply involved in a deception.
In 1994, Van Doren was played by Ralph Fiennes in the Oscar-nominated movie Quiz Show. He went on to work for Encyclopedia Britannica and write books. Charles Van Doren died in Connecticut yesterday at the age of 93. Up next here tonight, he tried to steal, the owner tried to heal.
This portion is sponsored by Principal Investments, Retirement, Insurance.
Sheila, the lights are making me shine.
What am I going to do with you, Bob?
Hey, Jen, what traffic camera do you want first?
Can I get the cut in the hill? It's already a mess. There's a crash there because of the rain. Now, one more hour of rain, and then we have sunshine for days.
Best news I've heard all day.
All day?
Yeah. You're looking good.
Oh, you need some Bronson?
Oh, no, thanks. I'm good.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And good morning, Cincinnati.
It's 4:25. Thanks for joining us. We start with some breaking news on I-75 this morning.
I'm Dr. Trace Curry. Would you like to jumpstart your weight loss with a non-surgical option? Journey Light now offers Obalon, the first FDA-approved swallowable gastric balloon. If you have the will, we have the way. Check out Obalon at JourneyLight.com and get up to $1,500 off.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
What if you could lose fat in just a few hours?
I don't know what to say. I'm just in shock.
You can with Sono Bello.
It seems no matter how much you work out or diet, there are parts of your body that just don't seem to change.
I went to the gym, I worked out at home, I bought videos.
No matter what I did, that bulge was still there.
With its advanced micro-laser technology,
Sono Bello gently removes that targeted fat and shapes your body for life-changing results.
with over 100 board-certified plastic surgeons, Sono Bello is the largest and most experienced group practice in the U.S.
Seeing ain't believing. I don't know what is.
After 5 years trying to get rid of that roll of fat, Sono Bello did it in one day.
Call for your free no-obligation consultation today and get $250 off your Sono Bello body.
Payment plans are available.
Call 888-452-3926 or go to sonobello.com.
Easter is our favorite time of year. We get dressed up.
We go to church.
Where do we get our clothes?
Burlington.
We get quality name brand clothes at Burlington's low prices. Wow.
Happy Easter!
Or welcome to the weekend. CBS This Morning, Saturday.
This is America's latest superhero.
Don't forget to show love.
This is his kindergarten class. This one-time school administrator is now architect. This is just some of her army.
I want other people to know what they can do to their neighborhoods. This is doable.
This history is still living.
This is a miracle!
This is working.
Oh, it's working.
Our final story begins with a robbery. It did not end the way you might think. Here's Dean Reynolds.
On Saturday night at this 7-Eleven in Toledo, store owner Jay Singh spotted someone who made him suspicious.
You can see he's standing here, putting his stuff in the pocket. And I see him when he comes back, that his hands are empty.
Singh told an employee to call 911, then he confronted the customer.
He said, "Oh, I'll put it back." I said, no. Put everything on the counter. I want to see what all things you have in your pocket.
And he wanted him to answer a simple question.
And why are you doing it? He said, "I'm hungry. I'm stealing it from myself and my younger brother." I said, "You need food? I'll give you food. That's not the problem."
And so he did, filling a bag with food for free and waving off the 911 call.
If the police had shown up, you could have pressed charges against him.
Absolutely.
Why didn't you?
There's no point in doing that because he's a young kid. That will go on his records that he was a thief. He cannot do anything in his life. He will not get a good job. He will not. This is not going to solve his hunger problem.
Across the counter, Cedric Bishop was a witness.
I just thought it was, real amazing.
So you went home and did what?
Posted on Facebook. It was like over 1,000 shares. Brought tears to my eyes, honestly.
We asked Singh, who moved to this country in 2007, why he did what he did.
It's basically our Indian culture that if you give food to a hungry person, that's considered God will bless you for that.
Amen. Dean Reynolds, CBS News, Toledo.
That is the overnight news for this Thursday. For some of you, the news continues. For others, check back later for the morning news and CBS This Morning. From the Broadcast Center in New York City, I'm Jeff Glor.
CBS News. Original reporting. This is the CBS Overnight News.
Well, welcome to the Overnight News. You're up early or late, however you look at it. I'm David Begnaud here at the Broadcast Center in New York City. Good to have you with us. The calendar says it's springtime, but don't tell that to old man Winter. He dropped another bomb cyclone on the Rockies and the Plains states. Blizzard warnings are up, roads are closed, flights are canceled, and there are fears of massive flooding by the start of next week. This is the second bomb cyclone to strike the region in just a month. Adriana Diaz is in the heart of it.
Spring in South Dakota turned winter white, clouding visibility and pushing 18-wheelers off the road. Blizzard warnings span 6 states from Minnesota to Colorado, where crashes closed I-70 in both directions near Vail. The sand and salt being sprayed is salt in the wound for areas still recovering from last month's flooding. Watertown, South Dakota is in the storm's bullseye, getting up to 24 inches on top of the 56 that's already fallen this year. That's nearly triple the norm. We joined Scotty Brinkman here while he was out treating the roads. He says this April storm is the biggest of the year.
50 degrees yesterday and blizzarding today.
When it was 50 degrees, did you ever think you'd be out here in the truck?
No.
In a blizzard?
No, I didn't. I figured we were done. I really did. And when they said the snowstorm was coming, I was like, what?
More than 8 inches have already fallen here in Watertown, South Dakota, and the brunt of the storm doesn't hit until tomorrow. To keep people off dangerous roads, officials have closed the interstate. That's what we took to get here. So most people, including us, are staying put for the night.
So where does that bitter weather go next? Lonnie Quinn has a forecast.
This could set a record for the biggest storm ever in the month of April. Let's take a peek at what we've got right now. We have snowflakes falling anywhere from Wisconsin all the way to Utah. Here's how the storm's going to progress. Put the Futurecast into motion. You get to Thursday morning. You are getting pummeled with snow in South Dakota, into Nebraska as well. Then as you get into, say, Thursday afternoon, you now have the snow in Minneapolis turning over to some sleet for you. And then by Friday morning, you're still dealing with snow out there. It's not going to be until later Friday that this will dissipate and start to move out. So how much snow are we talking about? Well, you heard Adriana say, hey, up around Watertown, they could be picking up, 1.5 to 2 feet. You betcha. That's all this area shaded in pink. Also portions of Nebraska as well. That area shaded in blue. That's a foot of snow or so. It's a big storm. Watch this, though. It's not just about the snow. Wind alerts, Jeff, stretch 1,600 miles. Gusts of 60 miles per hour are possible from Nevada to Kentucky. Severe weather tonight in Nebraska. Tomorrow, it's Indiana and Illinois. And a huge temperature swing. Look at this. Today's high temperature, Pratt, Kansas, 88. Tomorrow morning, waking up to 35 degrees. So, look, is it going to be a record setter? It might be. We don't know for sure just yet.
There was a natural gas leak in Durham, North Carolina that touched off a deadly explosion. It shook homes a mile away. Errol Barnett is there.
Oh, my God. Thick black smoke and a roaring fire visible for miles.
We do now have active fire into the next building over, closer to Main Street. It's starting to break through the roof.
While on the ground,
It's not safe right here. It's not safe.
Rescuers had to use a makeshift stretcher to get victims to ambulances. Others sat stunned and bloodied. The blast left at least 1 dead and 17 people injured, with 6 in critical condition. Police say at 9:30 this morning there was a call reporting a gas leak.
A lot of people down here need to be evacuated, and I'll need at least 1 more unit.
While firefighters were evacuating the area around this building, it exploded.
I got a female in the containment zone who had glass and debris in her head.
Officials say without the quick decision to evacuate, casualties could have been higher. Fire Chief Robert Zoldos.
Because I don't know how many people they evacuated and got them out of the hazard zone prior to the explosion, but obviously they put their lives on the line to do it, and I'm sure there's people they saved because of it.
There's glass everywhere.
Mark Brocconi usually works from home, but was at a meeting at the time of the blast.
Usually I am sitting just outside the main window at my desk, and the glass was everywhere, so I could only imagine what would have happened to me.
City officials say there had been utility workers installing a fiber network around the city, but would not confirm who was operating in the area of the explosion.
Our staff is still confirming whether or not there was an active permit in the area, and we'll release that when we have that information confirmed.
Now, while the investigation gets going, people here have to deal with the aftermath. Duke Energy is telling folks downtown to expect intermittent power outages, while Mark, who we spoke with, his wife and their 19-year-old dog will spend the night in a hotel.
Head to Washington now. Attorney General William Barr spent another day on Capitol Hill on Wednesday, fending off questions about his handling of the Mueller report. Our chief congressional correspondent, Nancy Cordes, has more.
This was an illegal witch hunt.
President Trump's bashing of the Russia probe is nothing new, but he got some unexpected backup today from his new Attorney General, William Barr.
Yes, I think spying did occur.
Barr told senators he's looking into whether the U.S. intelligence community inappropriately spied on the Trump campaign, even as Barr admitted he has no evidence of that.
I am not saying that improper surveillance occurred. I'm saying that I am concerned about it and looking into it.
Do you want to rephrase what you're doing?
Democrats called Barr irresponsible and accused him of propping up a, quote, long-debunked spying conspiracy to please Donald Trump.
How very, very dismaying and disappointing that the chief law enforcement officer of our country is going off the rails. He is the Attorney General of the United States of America, not the Attorney General of Donald Trump.
The FBI did obtain a surveillance warrant in 2016 to monitor the communications of Carter Page, a campaign foreign policy advisor who had been courted by Russian operatives in the past. The warrant was based in part on allegations contained in a dossier prepared by a British ex-spy who was doing research for the Clinton campaign, making it a long-time flashpoint for Republicans.
Do you agree with me that every American should be concerned as to whether or not a warrant was obtained against an American citizen with unverified information?
Absolutely.
Democrats contend this is all an effort to undermine special counsel Robert Mueller's report, which Barr is due to release publicly next week. Tonight, the Democratic leader Chuck Schumer is calling on Barr to either retract his spying claim or produce some proof.
We're not done yet, but we do have to take a break. You're watching the CBS Overnight News. We're back in a bit.
This is extraordinary.
This is fascinating.
This is amazing.
This is real.
This is bigger than opening up the borders.
This is exactly what fire crews were afraid of.
This is what they have to contend with.
This is where the eye wall passed over.
This.
The answer is this.
Constipation can happen all around us. You just need to know where to look. It can happen where people drive. It can happen where people play. It can happen where people exercise. Constipation can even happen where people work. And it happens to all of us. Luckily, there's Colace for gentle relief of occasional constipation. It's the #1 doctor-recommended stool softener brand. Constipation happens.
How would I describe overpaying on a used car? It's humiliating. It's expensive. I just trusted the wrong used car sites.
Carfax has a better way. Only Carfax.com can give you the most accurate price based on the Carfax report. So you never have to overpay on a used car again.
But I guess life goes on. So, all right, come on, boy. Here we go. Let's go, buddy.
Stop the shame of overpaying and start your used car search today at the all-new Carfax.com.
I want to get a bar put in over there. Do you know any good contractors? Yeah, I might. Nice. Give me a bunch of quotes, check the reviews, and verify the credentials and qualifications.
You can't expect your neighbors to do everything HomeAdvisor can. So just ask HomeAdvisor.
For unexpected heartburn, Nexium 24-Hour can't relieve it fast like Zantac can. Where Nexium can take 24 hours, Zantac works in as little as 30 minutes to prevent or relieve heartburn. Zantac. Eat your way, treat your way.
This is America's latest superhero.
Don't forget to show love.
This is his kindergarten class. This one-time school administrator is now architect, This is just some of her army.
I want other people to know what they can do to their neighborhoods. This is doable.
This history is still living.
This is a miracle!
This is working.
Oh, it's working.
This is the CBS Overnight News.
And we're back. The nation's top pediatricians group is demanding the immediate recall of a pretty popular baby rocker. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's the Fisher-Price Rock-in-Place Sleeper. It's already been tied to the deaths of nearly 36 infants. We asked Jan Crawford to tell us more.
He was the best thing that ever happened to us.
Ezra Overton was the pride and joy of parents Evan and Keenan.
I just felt like my purpose finally just came to me. Like, oh, this is what life is for.
In December 2017, Keenan says he placed Ezra in a Fisher-Price Rock-in-Place Sleeper at bedtime. When Keenan awoke, he says he found his 5-month-old son face down and unresponsive.
I picked him up, and he was like a doll. He was hard, and his face was blue, and his nose was pushed in.
The couple say they called 911 and began CPR before arriving at the hospital.
I didn't want to believe it at that moment. So when they told me he was gone and I saw him for the last time, it was the worst day of my life.
Ezra died 3 days before Christmas. His parents blame Fisher-Price.
They're supposed to be about safety, but that wasn't the case.
Fisher-Price says the Rock-in-Place Sleeper meets all applicable safety standards and adds it is essential that the product warnings and instructions are always followed. Those warnings, which are also sewn onto the device, include a suffocation hazard and an advisory to stop using the product once an infant can roll over. Last week, Fisher-Price issued an alert with the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, reducing the recommended age limit from about 5 months to 3.
We do not believe that is adequate.
Consumer Reports' Rachel Peachman says the magazine found deaths linked to the sleeper of babies younger than 3 months.
It's a risk for babies of any age. There is no circumstance where this is a safe environment for babies to sleep.
The Overtons say they want to help other parents avoid a tragedy like theirs.
When you think about Ezra now, how do you think of him?
I think of him as a superhero baby.
Superhero baby?
We think of that all the time. I just knew that he was meant for some big purpose. I think of him as being the stopping point to having this product out there. So he's going to save a lot more babies and families this type of devastation.
You may have heard about our trade war with China. Well, it could be wrapping up soon. The White House says when it does, President Trump is planning a signing summit that will happen with the president of China, and it's going to be done at Mr. Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida. Well, human rights groups want the president, Mr. Trump, to insist that Beijing allow inspectors into the so-called re-education camps. That's where hundreds of thousands of Muslims are being detained. Margaret Brennan has more on that story.
Well, rounding up religious minorities and putting them in internment camps is something the world said should never happen again. But it is happening right now in China to more than 1 million Muslims. And so far, the Trump administration has not taken action to stop it.
We are the voice of voiceless people.
American Gulchera Hoja is from Xinjiang province, home to China's Uyghur Muslim minority. Chinese authorities have taken 24 of her relatives to internment camps.
My brother detained in 2017 September. After I heard that from my mom, I was asking her, can I just talk this issue openly? And she was asking me, actually begging me, says, I already lost one child. I don't want to lose another one.
Do you know if they're alive?
No.
As a Radio Free Asia correspondent in Washington, she reports on what is happening back home. Video posted to social media appears to show the inside of these camps, which the State Department believes are designed for mass detention to erase religious and ethnic identities.
They even have a camera in the bathroom. So 24/7, they're watching you.
Beijing blames its Muslim minority for several attacks, such as this 2014 one, and says it is rapidly building these facilities to combat terrorism. Today, a bipartisan group of lawmakers, including Senator Bob Menendez, are calling for sanctions on Chinese officials and cautioning U.S. companies.
We need to make sure that U.S. companies are not engaged in providing the resources and the wherewithal to allow the Chinese to oppress its own people.
Now, Gulchera did meet last week with Secretary of State Pompeo, but the lawmakers who authored this letter say words aren't enough. They want inspectors allowed into the camps, and they want to make sure U.S. companies aren't selling surveillance technology to China to help them with these abuses.
We got to pay some bills now. We'll take a break. You're watching the CBS Overnight News. We're back in a moment.
Attention oxygen therapy users. If you've been chained to an oxygen tank, then you know they're a burden. Tanks keep you from living the life you love.
I was on oxygen tanks, and I couldn't go anywhere, do much of anything. I didn't dare go far.
It's time to reclaim your independence with an Inogen One oxygen concentrator. Inogen makes its own oxygen from the air around you, so you'll never worry about running out of oxygen again.
I wasn't going to run out of oxygen ever, and it was like freedom. I got my life back. I really love my Inogen.
The Inogen One G4 is lightweight and compact. Plus, it's battery operated, so you can have oxygen anytime, anywhere.
Oh, do I think Inogen is worth the money? You better believe it's worth every single penny of it.
Call now for your free information kit. There's no obligation. Inogen. Oxygen anytime, anywhere.
Call 1-800-881-8959. That's 1-800-881-8959. Call now for your free information kit.
Unisom knows when you don't get enough sleep, it's hard to avoid the fog. Even the simplest things seem tough. Unisom is specially formulated to give you a good night's sleep, so you're ready to take on your day with Unisom, the sleep expert.
My gums are irritated. I don't have to worry about that. Do I?
Harmful bacteria lurk just below the gum line.
Crest Gum Detoxify, voted Product of the Year. It works below the gum line to neutralize harmful plaque bacteria and help reverse early gum damage. Gum Detoxify from Crest.
Women are standing up for what they deserve. In the office,
in the world,
and finally, in the bedroom. Our natural lubrication varies every day. It's normal. So it's normal to do something about it.
KY Natural Feeling, the lubrication you want, nothing you don't. Get what you want. Breyers Natural Vanilla. Milk, fresh cream, and only sustainably farmed vanilla.
It's made with fresh cream, sugar, and milk.
Breyers, the good vanilla. We proudly partner with American farmers for grade A milk and cream.
What if I wielded the power of the Infinity Gauntlet? I could bend reality to my will with a snap of my fingers.
I just saved money with Geico.
I saved hundreds of dollars.
Nice.
That is a lot of money. The power is exhilarating. I just got something in my throat. Yeah.
Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame in theaters April 26th.
See what's new under the sun this Sunday morning with Jane Pauley.
Welcome back. Let's lighten it up a bit. Actor Sam Rockwell has been called a modern-day chameleon for the way he can drift in and out of roles. His latest, choreographer Bob Fosse. Rockwell discussed his life and career with Tony DeCopel.
Sam Rockwell's long acting career, like a toy chest, is full of cowboys
trying to wear me down on this. That's my main intention.
Outlaws.
I think I'm gonna die. Well, don't keep going on about it.
Spacemen. And monsters.
I feel like if you were to take every role you've ever been in and dump it out on the floor as action figures,
it would be weird.
It's a weird pile of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of wigs and, fake beards in there.
What the crap?
But for Rockwell, none of it is child's play.
I've gone to therapy. I have an acting coach. I have a dialect coach. I have a voice coach. I don't do it alone,
Why are you so open about the work?
Not to be too pretentious about it, but there is a lot that goes into it. Yeah. You don't just show up.
My love, thou art my love, I think.
In fact, he's been disappearing into characters for so long.
This is ridiculous.
And so completely.
That's the most well-guarded yeast factory I've ever seen.
He was once about as unknown as a celebrated actor can be.
Now, most of you probably know me as that guy from that movie. I'm talking about not the main guy, but the other guy.
But last year, Rockwell took home his first Oscar.
Don't I know your face from someplace?
I don't know, do you?
For his role as a racist cop in the movie 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
I could arrest you right now if I wanted to. For what? For emptying out your bucket there. That's against the being bad, against the environment laws. I want you to be my VP.
This year, he was nominated again for his portrayal of President George W. Bush in Vice.
You're a kinetic leader. I am. People always said that.
Yeah. And you get that thing, in your lip and, whatever.
You can't drop into it. There you go.
Sometimes, but yeah, it's hard on your mouth, W.
Yeah?
It gets in there, yeah.
Okay, here we go, Deanna. And now, at 50, he's reminding audiences that he's always had the moves for center stage.
Some of the parlor tricks, yes. Let's see.
Whoa.
Yeah, a little hat trick.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's fun.
In a new FX series, Rockwell plays Bob Fosse.
Everyone see what Gwen's doing with the arm?
Break the legs.
A dancer and choreographer turned director. Famed for movies like Cabaret and all that jazz.
What was it that drew you to him?
I guess the charisma. There's a kind of cool guy thing about him, and there's kind of he was a genius, and yet he was also really messed up,
That's what we do, though, isn't it? We take what hurts and we turn it into a big gag, and we're singing and we're dancing.
There's also a haunted quality.
Very haunted, yeah. I guess I'm attracted to characters like that,
It helps that Rockwell is also a dancer.
It is fun.
Sort of.
Well, who taught you? You taught yourself?
I just messed around.
Just take those old.
I watched Risky Business. So I learned how to do the splits. And I watched Footloose and, and I fancied myself a young Kevin Bacon probably,
Sam Rockwell grew up the only child of divorced parents. He shuttled between San Francisco, where his father was a labor organizer, and New York, where his mom was a struggling actor.
So what are you getting exposed to at that age?
Well, you're backstage with people, and it's a vaudeville existence, I guess you could say.
What does that do to a kid?
Well, it's good and bad. I think it makes you wiser, and it also makes you a little strange. When you go back to the normal sort of middle-class life or working-class life when you're at school with kids who are having sort of a normal existence, you relate to them a little differently.
His first role was a 10-year-old Humphrey Bogart in a Casablanca sketch with his mother.
It was thrilling. It was thrilling. I got the bug, right away.
And he dreamed big.
What did you want to be?
Like any other young actor, you want to be. People go through phases. They want to be Robert De Niro. I went through a Robert De Niro phase. And you want to be Chris Walken. You want to be Gene Hackman.
You're on your own? That's fine by me, Al. Really.
But as he grew into being Sam Rockwell, other actors started to notice.
What kind of work? What government agency?
Problem-solving work.
George Clooney once reportedly threw a golf club into a wall to get him into Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Brad Pitt showed up unannounced at Rockwell's house to recruit him for another role.
Ding dong.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm downstairs. It's Brad Pitt.
Yeah, that's true. That happened. Yeah.
Take him down.
The secret may be that he has always anchored his roles in research.
Come on, defamation of character in the crime?
To play a small-town cop in 3 Billboards...
What are you, an idiot?
Don't call me an idiot, Dixon.
I didn't call you an idiot. I asked if you was an idiot. That was a question. He got you there, sir.
He actually hired a small-town cop to read the script and spend some time with him.
I wanted to get it right, and it was helpful, just little details like their haircut, and then just the way their demeanor and how they handle themselves.
After more than 70 films and dozens of television shows, Sam Rockwell is savoring the life he's built, including at home with longtime girlfriend, actor Leslie Bibb.
Certainly in the love department, I'm very lucky. And in the work department, I am so...
Your heart and soul.
These days, having luck means pouring everything into his starring turn as Bob Fosse.
Where'd you learn that?
I was dancing burlesque houses when I was 14.
While also considering new possibilities.
I was 13.
Does it occur to you, as it occurs to me, that in the same way you're name-checking these different great actors, there are actors coming up today who are going to be like, oh, you know, I just grew up watching Sam Rockwell. I just want to be like Sam Rockwell.
Well, that would be a beautiful thing, and that would make my heart soar like a hawk.
Years of stubborn belly fat? Gone. White hips and flabby thighs? Transformed. Embarrassing back fat? Say goodbye. The secret is Sonobello, America's #1 cosmetic surgery specialist. Sonobello is not a fad diet or crazy boot camp workout. It's a simple, proven way to eliminate stubborn body fat in just one visit. Sonobello's board-certified surgeons use microlaser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells permanently and with minimal downtime, giving you dramatic and life-changing results. If you've struggled for years to lose stubborn fat, it's not your fault. Anyone can permanently make a change and lose fat with Sonobello. Schedule your free no-obligation consultation now. Plus, find out how you can get $250 off instantly. That's $250 off your stomach, back, even your thighs. Call the number on your screen or go to sonobello.com right now.
Paid spokesperson.
Have you or a loved one had hernia mesh implanted specifically for hernia repair and had serious complications, including infection, wound reopening, chronic pain, bowel obstruction, or had revision or repair surgery? You may have been a victim of a product that was defectively designed, and you may be entitled to compensation. Hernia repair surgeries are one of the most common surgeries performed in the United States, with over 500,000 surgical procedures annually. Recent studies have found higher levels of hernias reopening when hernia mesh has been implanted. If you or a loved one had hernia mesh implanted specifically for hernia repair and have experienced serious complications, including infection, wound reopening, chronic pain, bowel obstruction, or you later required revision or repair surgery, you may be entitled to compensation. How do you protect your rights and fight for the compensation you deserve? You choose the right legal team that has the experience, support staff, and resources to get you the most compensation for your injuries. Call for a free case review.
Have you heard the song Old Town Road? It's apparently one of the hottest country tunes in the nation, but it's been pulled off the country charts because Billboard insists it's not country enough. Jerika Duncan has the story.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse to the Old Town Road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
Set against a cowboy-themed game, the music video for Lil Nas X's Old Town Road uses language of the Wild Wild West with a hip-hop spin.
Cowboy hat from Gucci, Wrangler on my booty.
The genre-blending tune was a breakout hit 5 weeks ago when it debuted on 3 Billboard charts at the same time: the Hot 100, Hot R&B and hip-hop songs, and Hot Country songs. But Billboard quietly removed the song from the country chart the following week. It later issued a statement saying the song does not embrace enough elements of today's country music to chart in its current version. Lil Nas X responded on Genius.com.
I started to think about, I was like, you know, why? After like listening to other songs that's actually on that chart, it's like, wait a minute, something's not right, basically.
Rolling Stone reporter Elias Light says it's traditionally been challenging for black artists to break through on the country charts.
It's often true that black performers are not really allowed to move between genres with the same ease that white performers are.
Lil Nas X first uploaded Old Town Road to the music streaming service SoundCloud back in December. It took off when listeners posted short videos set to the track on the social media app TikTok.
Horsestock is attached, head is matted black, got the bushes black to match.
So in several markets, radio programmers actually ripped the song off YouTube just so they would have something to play.
Don't tell my heart, my head can break too hard.
For one established country artist, the fact that Old Town Road was not embraced as a country song was heartbreaking. Billy Ray Cyrus tweeted, "I thought it's honest, humble, and has an infectious hook and a banjo. What the hell more do you need?" So he decided to collaborate with Lil Nas X on a remix.
The song deserves to be on every chart.
Jimmy Allen's debut single, Best Shot, was #1 for 3 weeks on country radio.
Give you my best shot. I came into this genre as a new artist from a small town in Delaware, and I'm a black guy. And I had strikes against me that people thought might stop me, but yet the country community welcomed me in.
Billboard maintains its decision to take Old Town Road off the country chart had absolutely nothing to do with the race of the artist.
Either way, it's a good song, it's catchy, and people are talking about it and they're playing it. And at the end of the day, that's all artists want. So Lil Nas